Hello and welcome to the final, and well, it's sort of final, it's going up on Saturday, but the kind of final day in film. I know I didn't upload on Friday, I'm very sorry, I was swamped with work, and I know I'm going to sound tired in this recording because it is currently 11:41 at night on Friday, but hey, I mean, gotta get a video out anyway, right? So forgive me if I slur or merge my words together, I'm obviously not trying to. Before we get into the title topic, I have to say I'm very happy with how the channel's been growing. You know, we're kind of stuck at 90 subscribers right now, but I still appreciate what you guys are doing for me, my career, my self-confidence, blah, blah, blah. And I appreciate the support on some more recent videos, especially Underwater. I have no idea why so many people are liking that video. Not liking it actually, but just like watching it. But hey, I appreciate it. You know, if you're liking my work, then you're liking my work, and I'm not going to complain about that. With all the boring intro things out of the way, let's get into it. Today, in theaters for its 10-year anniversary, I watched, not J.K. Simmons, Damien Chazelle's Whiplash. It is kind of funny to be doing another video on Whiplash. If you go back to very early channel era, when I was, ironically enough, also doing Days in Films like I am now, Whiplash was one of my first, I think, 5 or 10 videos maybe. And to see it come full circle at a time like this, where I think I've definitely improved my style, or if not my style, at least my confidence in my voice, is kind of cool. And I know I'm going to maybe disappoint some people, but I have absolutely nothing negative to say about Whiplash. This is, and I don't want to, I want to make sure I don't exaggerate too much, but I have to say this might be one of the best 21st century films ever made. Let me do a plot synopsis real quick. Whiplash follows Miles Teller's character, Andrew Neiman, I want to say his name is, trying to and joining and struggling with the band that, what's his name? That Fletcher, played by J.K. Simmons, there you go, played by J.K. Simmons, is running. And man, the way J.K. Simmons, I mean, if you're watching this video, you've definitely seen Whiplash. This is not your first time hearing about any of this, but if it is somehow, this is J.K. Simmons' one of his best roles, if not his best, period. His acting chops are stretched so thoroughly in this film. He plays a very rageful and angry person, and watching him take it out on Miles Teller is just horrible in such a great, morose way. This movie is really good at making you feel really uncomfortable and almost worried for the well-being and mental well-being of Miles Teller's character. And I can't help but watch it and feel bad, but also understand where Fletcher is coming from. I think that it's one of the last scenes he's in where he's talking to Neiman in the jazz bar, listening to him explain his methodology behind basically torturing his band members to try and make them all famous. It feels so revealing of who he really is. You know, at that point in the movie, you've only ever really seen him getting extremely angry or frustrated, or I think he cries once before that. And watching him really explain his methodology and the way his brain works, especially in this kind of thing, he's obsessed with making brilliant artists like Louis Armstrong and Bird. And listening to him go, well, I had to push him. It's so harrowing to hear, but it also feels so relieving. At the end of this day, this guy is just a normal person. He isn't a super being or anything. He's just a dude whose mind is kind of moving in a different direction, you know. Visually, this movie is gorgeous. I love the way Damien Chazelle films the instruments. He almost manages to fetishize the smooth brass trombone and trumpet and the huge bass and the drums especially. The drums are just, the way they're filmed and the way Miles Teller just beats the shit out of them the whole movie, it makes me want to start drumming. This movie is very inspirational in that sense, because I'm sure there are a bunch of people who watched this and said, I'm going to be a musician when I grow up, because why not? I want to say it's the same thing with The Bear. People watch The Bear and they go, I think I'm going to go to culinary school when I grow up. And it's kind of awesome just to know that a film had a very likely chance of impacting someone for the better and potentially them falling into the career that they love just because of a movie. It just makes me so happy. And it's little things like that that just make me feel so, not complete, but just like, it shows the real power of film. You know, the physical, like, moving the brain power. I think it's kind of, I think it's actually kind of crazy that I've gone this far through the video and haven't mentioned the soundtrack. Whiplash is a movie about a band, so pretty much all of the music from the movie is from a band, and Jesus, this might be one of the best original soundtracks for a movie ever. Just the way all the instruments interact, and the way there's smooth tracks and there are angry tracks and there are real songs and there are made up songs for the movie. Caravan and Whiplash, like the way Miles Teller plays them on the drums, and the way that Fletcher commands the rest of the band to play it on their saxophones and trombones and trumpets and stuff. It's so just brilliant. The way Damien Chazelle is able to capture just the pure love that J.K. Simmons definitely has for art, especially in that jazz club scene. I can't stop thinking about it for some reason. Seeing him so at peace, which is at this point in the movie you've literally never seen before, and watching him just really let go and just flow on the piano it's gorgeous. It's hard not to be kind of not obsessed with him or even really a huge fan of him, but you feel a little sympathy for how evil this guy was. You know, he's a soulful jazz piano player and he sounds great. I also noticed in this third viewing, I don't know if I mentioned that yet, this is my third viewing of the movie, I also noticed how Miles Teller is like a complete asshole. Like there are like maybe 2 scenes where he's not being a complete dick, and everything else is just like horrible. He goes on one date with a girl and then he goes, I think we should break up so I can keep being a musician. It's so just unbelievable the way Miles Teller acts, and he's, you know, obviously the protagonist of the story, but man, sometimes it's hard to root for that fucker. You know, I'm thinking especially the dinner table scene where he's like, it's Division 3, it's not even Division 2. Just hating because his little announcement didn't get enough credit. In a lot of ways, Miles Teller's character reminds me of, not Saul Goodman, Walter White, in a very odd, roundabout way. Only because the two clearly crave respect so greatly and crave having their names embedded in a history book somewhere. But something about the way they talk, and Miles Teller and Bryan Cranston, you know, they sound nothing alike, but hey, you never know. Maybe it's his uncle or something. I think that's really all I have to say on Whiplash. This is a all-time classic. I mean, if you haven't seen Whiplash, at least for me, it's still in theaters for at least 2 more days. Not tomorrow or the day after, but just random days. If you have the time to catch Whiplash, even if you've already seen it in proper theater on a huge theater screen, I would absolutely do so, because the experience of seeing Miles Teller just go fucking crazy on the drums and on this gigantic screen is something that you'll never really get anywhere else. Before I wrap this up, again, I have to apologize for how tired I sound. I'm sure you could hear it on my voice as I speak right now, but I hope maybe it'll act as a more chill version of what I normally do. Who knows, you know? With that all out of the way, I have nothing else to add. 10 out of 10 masterpiece, definitely. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the theaters.